I don't know if there was ever a moment, if like a specific moment in time where it clicked that being a Chassid wasn't for me. It was really a process. At a very young age, I doubted a lot of what I was being told. The doubts that I had about the existence of God and how the world functions, how the universe functions, those questions weren't being answered. I was excited about leaving the Hasidic movement mostly because I was about to experience what I always secretly wanted to experience. I'd be able to listen to non-Jewish music, watch movies, go to bars, get drunk, socialize, maybe get laid without feeling guilty or without it being wrong. There's a correct way to do almost every single thing you do in your day, from waking up in the morning to going to sleep at night. Every single little thing, from the way you're washing your hands to whether or not you made a blessing on a fruit, on a snack that you're trying to have, or, you know, the way you put your pants on in the morning, if you don't tie your right shoelace before you tie your left shoelace. For instance, when I used to wake up in the morning, I would want to rub my eyes, you know, to get the, you know, sleep out of my eyes and to just, you know, wake up. Whenever my father was present, he always used to knock my hands away from my eyes because you're not supposed to rub your eyes, which become impure overnight until you wash your hands and purify your hands. It's not like something I can't live without, rubbing my eyes. It's a very simple, small, subtle thing, but when you're just trying to go about your day the way you would normally do it, and you get it, it's frustrating to be interfered with at that level.
Ok, on va commencer. Tout le monde va dire après moi les mots. Bnei Adam. Bnei Adam. Ou Mosrotehem. Il y avait un gars, chaque matin, il allait sur une montagne. Et chaque matin, il prenait un grand sac. Il avait dedans quelque chose, il ne savait pas, des pierres. Il mettait sur son épaule et il marchait jusqu'en haut de la montagne et il mettait le sac. Il revenait en bas, comme ça, 8 heures par jour. Et c'était dur. Et chaque pied, il disait « Oh, c'est dur, c'est dur, c'est dur ». Un jour, son ami lui a dit « Hey, comment ça va ?» Il dit « Ah, c'est dur la vie, je travaille dur ». Il a dit, dis-moi, tu as déjà regardé dans le sac, qu'est-ce qu'il y a dedans? Il a dit, non, des pierres. Il a dit, non, c'est pas des pierres, c'est pas seulement des pierres. Ouvre le sac. Il a ouvert le sac, il voit des diamants. Des diamants, des gros diamants, des petits diamants, plein de diamants. Waouh! Des diamants! Il a mis le sac sur son épaule, il a commencé à courir. C'est seulement dur. Si tu le vois d'être dur. Et c'est très facile si tu le vois d'être facile.
Well, for a very long time, my parents would reason that the biggest problem with me not being religious wasn't so much what I'm doing to myself, but for the sake of my siblings, I should try to modify my lifestyle. The rationale was that my younger brother, who looks up to me and emulates me, would no doubt become non-religious and follow in my footsteps, which was kind of what happened.
I believe that there is something out there there is a higher power, something controlling or watching over everything, but I don't really believe in any God that has to do with religion. I think religion is evil, and it's rules made by man to control man. But I believe there is something out there, a higher power. I wouldn't really say controlling everything, but he has something to do with what's going on. I felt I was brainwashed, that from a very early age they chose certain topics to kind of drill into your head. And it's very hard to kind of break away from them, because I noticed even once I stopped being religious, I would still do something that was considered a sin according to the religion, and it would still bother me for a couple years after. Music is music, you know? It's more of the language of the soul. So when I was younger, I'd buy myself radios all the time just so I can listen to non-Jewish music, and my dad would take them away, and I'd just go out and buy another one. And it's kind of a little war going on between me and my dad with my music. And that's pretty much where it started, you know? But after that, I started tasting food that wasn't kosher, like bacon and sausage, and going to McDonald's and stuff like that. And they always told me it was so bad, but when you take that bite out of it and it's juicy and tasty, I was like, how can this be bad?
I don't frown upon his lifestyle. So for me to assume some sort of, you know, guilt or responsibility over his not being religious would be kind of hypocritical of me. There's nothing wrong with it.
These are my kids. They're part of my essence. You don't just go and bring a child into this world and abandon them for whatever reason. If a child, God forbid, had some sickness, what would you do? Take a baseball bat, hit him over the head and say, "You fool, you're sick"? No. So if a child has a spiritual sickness or has a spiritual insensitivity which needs to be corrected, so what do? You sever them? You cut the umbilical cord, the spiritual umbilical cord? God forbid. No, you don't. You continue to nurture, you continue to love them, they're part of you, and you hope and you pray that God will give them the experiences that they need to realize who they are and what they have. I turn to myself and I say, what did I do wrong? How did I fail Levi and Hoodie? What did I not give them that allowed them to find the outside world so attractive?
It's not that being a chassid is necessarily so bad, but there's something so attractive and so desirable about just being your own man and, you know, not having anyone else decide for you. So it's less about premarital sex and, you know, good music and good food and indulgence in general. It's really about being able to choose for yourself.
Quand une personne me dit « je veux être moi », quand moi je me dis « je veux être moi », mais le chassidisme nous apprend c'est quoi moi. Il y a deux moi. Il y a moi physique et il y a moi spirituel. Il y a l'âme et il y a le corps.
Come on in.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Already. Have a seat.
Alors quand une personne dit « je veux être moi », il faut se demander pourquoi ils disent ça. C'est qui dit ça? Le corps ou l'âme? Et l'âme, ce qu'elle dit quand elle dit « je veux être moi », c'est seulement à travers se connecter à Dieu.
Okay, this experiment consists of a lexical decision task. So your job will be to look at the stimuli, which are either a real English word or a nonsense word. And your job will be to basically evaluate whether it is or it isn't. The general attitude or the lifestyle that I lead is one of, you know, curiosity and exploration, where I don't have to consider, you know, whether I'm transgressing against God. That is my lifestyle, the freedom to be able to explore without guilt. And that's something you can have as a chassid. You know, it's not like, you know, my intellectual curiosity is necessarily in transgression against the faith. I can read everything I want, but if I'm going to read Darwin, then I'd have to necessarily criticize him when I'm done. You know, I'd have to at least be reading him with, you know, the attitude that this is rubbish.
Nothing happens by chance. They were born into a Lubavitch family. They were born with the Jewish soul. So these things are with them for the rest of their days. It's not something that they can take off like you take off a garment. This is their treasure, this is their inheritance. So externally, if they don't want to open up their treasure chest and they don't want to look at what they have, or they don't want to polish their gold and silver ornaments that they've been given as an inheritance, that's their choice right now.
Lost in the sea, you were more than an island, you're a father to me. From the day she was taken, I see a strength in your eyes. I hear the crack in your voice reveal the weight of your smile.
I think my coping process is one of how do I be a better father? How do I keep my home open to them? How do I encourage them to reassess some of the decisions that they've made?
My leaving the faith has affected him a lot. I know it causes a lot of pain. His biggest dream is that I will become Hasidic again. I just hope there's a time when he can get over it and realize that it probably won't happen. And he can be happy.
I want you to know that each and every day, I pray for their return. As part of my religious service, each and every morning, I think about things. And on a daily basis, I think about the boys, and I pray for them to come back.
I think it was a lot of the artistic parts of my personality that seemed to be out of place in the ultra-Orthodox world. I went to a camp called Camp Enos, for example, and it was an all-girls camp, and it was all-girls audiences, and we had a dance festival every year, and they had different choreographed dances, and I think I was about 9 years old, and they taught me the dance, and I loved the moves. I was like really expressing myself in the moves. And after the first performance of the dance, a few people came up to me and they said, "You can't move like that. That's really Proust." Proust is like a way of describing something that's like erotic and dirty, just not part, you can't, it's Proust, so you can't dance like that. It's really Proust. And I felt so embarrassed. And it was an all-girls camp. I was 9 years old. I don't know what I could have done. The movements were not even with the hips. I was just expressive and I was just exuberant. And that alone was something that was a signal to something much, it's a signpost that I'm going to be doing something much worse, which I think maybe ended up being true. She mostly that there was a marginalization of the voice. I felt like it was really a world where the woman's voice wasn't really celebrated. I mean, it was meant to be hidden. We don't grow up preparing for a musical career. I mean, it's impossible. A woman's not allowed to sing in public. A woman's supposed to be preparing to get married and having children. You can develop skills in other areas that are safe, that are never going to challenge your relationship to orthodoxy. But there's almost no paradigm for training as an artist. But what I take from that world is a joy of singing. Everyone loves to sing. I've rarely seen a community where everyone loves to sing that much. And those songs became very much my influences. They became very much my basic influences. And the texts that I had to memorize in school became the words that I sing now. The music that I compose is still influenced by some of those things, but it's also influenced by the outside world that I got exposed to by traveling.
נולדתי במשפחה חרדית לגמרי, וזה דורות חרדים. ולמרות שאני באה מניו יורק, האנגלית שלי היא לא טוב. גם אם נולדתי שם והייתי חי שם 19 שנה, אני לא יודע מה זה לחיות בצד. קשה לעשות את הצעד הזה רק בגלל שאלות באמונה. זה חייב להיות מתוך זה שהגשת לא טוב שוב. ולא רק לא טוב, רק מאוד לא טוב, הגשת שם. זה שלב אחד לפני התאבדות, הייתי קורא לזה. אתה מרגיש כאילו שאתה אין לך מה להפסיד כבר, אתה רוצה כבר להתאבד, אז אתה אומר, לפני שאני הולך להתאבד, אולי יש משהו אחר בעולם. אולי בכל זאת נמצא איזשהו סוג של חיים שאפשר לענות מהם. מה שקשה לי היום, שאני יודע שאני לא באמת חילוני. כי אני לא ממש מתחבא לעולם החילוני. ואני מתעורר בבוקר, אני עדיין מרגיש את עצמי כאילו אני בעולם חרדי. אני כל בוקר מחדש צריך להזכיר לעצמי שיצאתי כבר מהעולם הזה. אני לוקח דף, אני מתחיל לכתוב, ואני עדיין כותב בתחילת הדף, בעצם המחדלת בסייעתא דשמיא. כי אני רגיל 25 שנים, ככה אני כותב. המוזיקה שאני שומע, זה תמיד יהיה מוזיקה חסידית. המילים שאני ממלמל לעצמי, זה תמיד מילים של התפילה, של התורה, של הגמרא. זה מה שיש לי בראש, וזה מה שתמיד יהיה לי בראש.
I left and I didn't leave. I feel like there's a very strong part of me that still adheres and still feels very close to the ideals of the religion in its highest moments. At its best, it's a religion that's very ethically connected, very much about doing the right thing in every moment. It's like in every moment we have a choice to do something that feeds our ego, feeds our desire feeds our lower nature, and there's something that we can do that's going to be an investment into our spirit, investment into our future, investment into our, into making the world better and making ourselves better. And those things I still feel very connected to.
Je pense que ces jeunes, ils ont un feu dans eux, un feu qui ne peut pas être satisfait. Et c'est à cause de ça qu'ils ont quitté. C'est parce qu'ils croient si fortement en Dieu qu'ils ne peuvent pas digérer le moindre de l'opposé de la vérité. Ils voient que mon père, mon professeur, ceux qui sont des modèles, ou ce qu'ils pensaient être des modèles, quelque chose qui est un peu pas à 100%. Mais quand on grandit, on sait que personne n'est à 100%.
מה שלא הרגשתי טוב עם זה, בעולם ההוא, זה לא הקטע של עבודת השם. אני עם אלוהים שלי, אין לי בעיות. אני יודע שהוא מבין אותי, ואני הסתדרתי איתו, בוא נגיד ככה. זה לא הקטע שעזבתי. אני עם החברה לא הסתדרתי. הם קובעים בשבילך מתי אתה צריך לקום, מה אתה עושה כשאתה קם, מה אתה עושה כשאתה אוכל, איך עליך להתפרנס, ואיך עליך לעשות שידוך, איזה אישה אתה צריך לקחת. זה לא קשור למישהו שאתה אוהב, זה ההורים שלך קרובים פחות או יותר, ואתה צריך להפעיל את מכונת הילדים, אחרי שנה, כל שנה להוליד עוד ילד, ואתה מרגיש כאילו אתה נכנס לרכבת, ויש מישהו שנוהג, התפקיד שלך זה לשבת ככה ולעשות ככה כל היום, כן, אני מסכים, ולנסוע ככה עד לגן עדן.
I can remember experiences from the age of 7 when I had a dream about the eagle. We learned in school that the big eagle, Al Kanfei Nesharim, Mashiach, was going to come. And that eagle was going to land on everybody's street and is going to it's just going to be there, and everyone's going to come out with all their suitcases and go onto the eagle's back, and then the eagle was going to, just stop off everywhere. And then the eagle was going to go to Yerushalayim, and then it was Mashiach, And I learned that at 7, and when I had the most vivid dream at that age, that the eagle landed on my street on 18th Avenue, 49th Street, on the dead-end block that I lived on, and that everybody was able to go on. My family went, everyone on the block, left their houses, went on top of the eagle, and I was just left scraping the ice off the window, watching. And it was just understood in the dream that I couldn't go. And that was a really powerful moment, because if you're not observant of the laws and the commandments, in school they say if you're not shomer mitzvos, like this, then you're not going to be able to go on the eagle. And I think that was such a powerful fear that it ended up in my dream. And that kind of dream that was so vivid becomes part of your psyche. That there's something about you that's not like everybody else, that won't be worthy of going on to this big messianic eagle.
ופתאום יום אחד קמתי והלכתי, לא ידעתי לאן אני הולך, אני רק ידעתי לא טוב לי כאן, ובסוף התחברתי להלל, וזהו.
ברוך אתה ה' אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן.
מה שהרגשתי עזרה מהלל בעיקר, זה שדרך הארגון הזה אתה מכיר עוד אנשים שעשו אותו צעד שאתה עשית. ופה אתה לא ממש מרגיש בודד, כי אתה יכול לדבר איתם על מה שעברתם ומה שעוברים עכשיו.
החדר הזה, יש פה בגדים, כלים, שמיכות, מעילים, צעצועים, תיקים, נעליים. מי שיוצא בשאלה, בדרך כלל אין לו בגדים, יש לו את הבגדים של הישיבה, ואם זאת בחורה, בגדים צנועים, חציות, מדים של הבית ספר, זה מה שיש לו. והיינו פה לוקחים דבר שתיים עד שמסתדרים ואפשר לי להתחיל לקנות. אני יכולה לתת לכם דוגמה, אני יכולה לתת עליך דוגמה? הנה, אני וחבר שלי לקחנו אותו לאילת, אותו, ואיזה קוראים לו, והוא יצא ממש, היה יוצא חדש, והוא בא איתנו, הוא לבש בגדים רגיל, אבל נעליים, מה זה נעליים? של חרדים, חבל על הזמן. וככה הוא הולך לים, ולא היה לו נעליים, באמת. וזה באמת עוזר, יש פה נעליים למי ש... ולא היה לו כסף או משהו לקנות בהתחלה, אני מאמינה, נכון? חזרתי בשאלה בגיל 15, אחרי שאחותי הגדולה חזרה בשאלה. ואז גם אני רציתי, כמוה, ראיתי איך היא חיה, איך כיף לה, איך היא נהנית ועובדת ומסתדרת והכל, אז ממש רציתי להיות כמוה. גרתי בבתי הונגרים, הונגרישי אייזר, קוראים לזה, וזה ממש שכונה סגורה, קטנה, כל אחד מסתכל לתוך הבית של השני. ממש כאילו, ממש סגור, כמו האמיש, ככה חיינו שם, ממש כמו האמיש. נגיד לנו בבית לא היה טלפון, לא השתמשנו בחשמל, אף פעם לא ראיתי ים, עד גיל 14 לא ידעתי מה זה ים. אתה לא יודע כלום, אין עיתונים, כלום, יש רק מודעות ברחוב על הקיר. זה הדבר היחידי שככה אתה יודע מה קורה. ולרוב זה מודעות אבל גם, של האנשים שמתים, זהו. Run from those thinkers whose thoughts never change. Run from your hometown, 'cause it keeps you the same. Don't be a fool like those who hold on to their shame.
Je pense qu'ils sont très spéciaux. C'est des jeunes avec beaucoup d'énergie, beaucoup de potentiel. Ils ont quelque chose de spécial, c'est pour ça qu'ils ont quitté. Parce qu'ils ont quelque chose d'unique que 90% de la population des autres jeunes, peut-être ils ont ça, mais ils n'ont pas encore tapé à les sources que ces enfants ils ont tapé. כשגרנו מהשערים, אחותי חזרה בשאלה כשגרנו שם עדיין, ויום אחד ראו אותה ברחוב עם מכנסיים, וכל השכנים החליטו אסור לנו לגור יותר במאה שערים, אנחנו גויים, אנחנו לא יהודים יותר, זהו, אחותי עם מכנסיים, אין יהודים יותר. שכן שיום קודם ראה אותה עם המכנסיים, הוא בא עם השקית של התפילין, שזה ממש כבד, והוא התחיל הרביץ לה על הראש, ממש חזק. והיה לנו, יש ישיבה בשכונה, ישיבה של תלמידים, ותלמידים שם עזרו לו להרביץ לה, הם הביאו לו מקל עץ עם מסמרים על זה שהוא ירביץ לה יותר חזק. והוא ממש הרביץ לה מכות חזקות, והייתה יום שלם מאושפזת עם דימומים בראש, וממש הייתה על הפנים. יום אחד אני חוזרת הביתה, ואני רואה כל השכונה, הכל שחור, ממש שחור, 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 מלא אנשים, ואני נכנסתי לשכונה, הייתי ילדה קטנה ככה, פיצית, והתחילו לזרוק עליי פחיות שתייה ואבנים. כולם, עשרות, מיליונים, שברו לנו את הדלת של הבית, את כל החלונות, כמעט שרפו לנו את הבית. ואמרו לנו, יש לכם 7 ימים, יש לכם לעזוב את מאה שערים. וממש אמא שלי רצה, ומצאנו דירה וישר עברנו משם.
אז במקום שהחברה תבוא לקראת ותשאל מה יכולים לעזור, ואיך רק באו ועשו בדיוק את ההפך. אם אני זוכרת, מה שצעקו עלינו זה כמו, צועקים שפריצקה, לא בדיוק איך אומרים את המילה הזאת, אבל משהו כזה, אבל תבין שזה 400 איש שצועקים את זה. התרגום של שפריצקה זה גוי אולי, משהו כזה, מילה כזאת, ואני אומרת לך שנראיתי כמוהם, וגם היום, כמו שאתה רואה, אני אישה דתייה, ואני שומרת שבת, ושומרת מצוות, והילדים שלי בתי ספר דתיים, והבן שלי הולך להתפלל, והכל. אי אפשר להגיד עלינו שאנחנו גויים או משהו כזה.
לא, אני לא שונאת את הקהילה החרדית. הקהילה שמה, במאה שערים, היא יוצאת דופן. היא ממש לא מייצגת את כולם. אי אפשר לקחת מהם דוגמה. לדעתי, הם לא מייצגים את הדת אפילו. הם לא מייצגים את אלוהים, לא מייצגים את התנ"ך, את התורה, שום דבר. הם כאילו, הם כתבו לעצמם את התנ"ך. אתה מבין?
This one says 4. How's school going? What's happening?
You know, same old.
How's the new place?
It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know, I haven't been there yet.
I know.
So when...
Just got to check with my roommates, of course, first.
Maybe we should wait till the Canadians are playing.
Yes, it's going to be good times. What's up, buddy?
We guys, we ready to go?
It looks like it's almost finished.
Hoodie. There's the walls. There's the schach. There's the ceiling. We got what to do. Okay.
We got our work cut out for us. I love being Jewish. I'm proud of being Jewish. My biggest heroes are all Jewish. Bob Dylan, Leonard Cohen, Sandy Koufax, Einstein. There's nothing about a non-Jew that I find objectionable in a lifetime partner. But I ultimately do have this obligation to my family. And I don't know if I can do it. What marrying a non-Jew would actually mean to my family is that I am officially severing the tie between myself and God by cutting off the chain and the lineage. If I reproduce with a non-Jew, my child won't be Jewish, and therefore, that's it. The family ends. There's nothing more tragic to my family than that.
One at a time.
I've lost a girlfriend over this, right? I did have a relationship with someone who I loved and perhaps still love dearly, that I ended because there was no way to reconcile this relationship and the relationship with my family. And she was a non-Jewish girl. I guess I should specify that. That's where the struggle was. And so when it came down to the wire, when it came down to choose, I felt like I couldn't, that would be a betrayal. Even though these are not values that I endorse personally. You know, I think a lot of other people would say, fuck off. You know, this is someone I love, how could you demand this of me?
אי אפשר להבין מה הראש של הבחור החרדי, מה יש לו. אני מדבר על הבחור החרדי שבאמת מנסה להיות צדיק. אי אפשר להבין את זה. הוא בכלל לא מעניין אותו את ההנאות שלו, לא מעניין אותו את הגוף שלו, לא מעניין אותו איך האוכל שלו, איך התנאים הגשמיים שלו. מעניין אותו רק שני דברים. או לעשות טוב לאלוהים, או שהרבי שלו, שההורים שלו יהיו מרוצים ממנו, ממה שהוא עושה.
חרדי זה מאוד קשה. ההורים לא מספרים לה על שום דבר, על מה זה זוגיות. נגיד אני, לא ידעתי מה זה מחזור. כשהייתי קטנה, פתאום קיבלתי מחזור, וחשבתי שיורד לי דם, וכמעט התעלפתי מרוב בהלה, לא ידעתי מה לעשות עם עצמי. הבנות לא יודעות מה זה מחזור.
I wanted more than anything to have a boyfriend. I thought, wow, that would be so amazing. But I realized I had no skills. Like, the boy that was interested in me, who was cute and cool and charming, you know, he liked me and we started going out. But to me, that meant let's race to the tree. Who can race faster? Who can jump? You know, I was a tomboy. I liked to jump and run and race. And to him, it was like, when are you going to kiss me? And I was like, you know, it wasn't in my vocabulary. We weren't allowed to touch. They said you can't even touch a man, a boy. So the idea of him kissing, it was just unfathomable. It was like, you know, too many steps. I couldn't cross that bridge at that time.
הדרך שעשו את השידוך שלי, שפשוט ההורים החליטו שהם רוצים להשתדך עם ההורים של הכלה, שזה מתאים להם ושהמשפחה מתאים, ואז הם פגשו אותי עם הבחורה ודיברנו איזה שעה. היא כמעט לא דיברה כלום, רק אני דיברתי. אחר כך פעם שנייה וזהו, ואז עשו את השידוך והחתונה. אני חושב, אני אומר את זה קיצוני, אבל אני חושב שאפשר לקרוא לזה אונס. כי אתה שוכב עם אישה שאתה לא מכיר והיא לא מכירה אותך, ואין שום היכרות לפני זה, ואפשר לקרוא לזה אונס. וזה אונס גם מצד הגבר וגם מצד האישה. פעם האחרונה שהייתי את הילדים שלי היה בערך לפני שנה. אני מדבר עם הילדים שלי, אבל אני לא נפגש איתם. גם אני לא רוצה לפגוש אותם. אני לא חושב שזה יעשה להם טוב. פעם הבן שלי שאל אותי, איפה אתה ישן? אז אמרתי לו, במיטה שלי. אז הוא שאל אותי, איפה המיטה שלך? אמרתי לו, בבית שלי. אז הוא אומר לי, כאן זה הבית שלך. הבנת מה שאמרתי?
You know, we can't be right about everything. And when you're sort of born into this environment, there's a very, very small chance that you're actually right about your worldview, right? That the worldview you've inherited is exactly the way it is.
First of all, I don't even understand where we're going there, because, I mean, there's a basic thing that I think what we would like to... I'm just going to rearrange
Can I just finish? Well, let me tell you where I'm going, because it's very important that I finish this point, and this is the point. The point is that you can't just go through life moving from an inherited truth and whatever difficulties you encounter along the way that threaten your worldview, go out of your way and create these, like, convoluted, you know, counter examples to defend your position. You have to be able to welcome the possibility that you may be wrong and at least be willing to explore other areas.
Levi, can you just hold this for a second? Okay, that's an inherited truth. I just passed you that napkin.
Right.
You have now inherited the knowledge that that's true. Well, the Jewish people, from the time of the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai,
how can you
inherited truth. And they inherited and they passed it down.
Okay,
all right? The same way that I passed you that napkin.
Yeah, I understand the logical part about is it true, is it not true. I'm not going there. I just want to know one thing. I want to know one thing.
Yes.
All right, first of all, give me my napkin back. I want to know one thing.
Have it back. I don't want your inherited dirty napkin.
No. So all I want to know as a father is that if I'm passing that to you, all right, that you know that you have that in your bag of tricks, that at some point in your life, whenever you should so choose, all right, that you can investigate something in order to perhaps get more meaning in life than what you've tried to get, the meaning that's come in your life up to now.
I investigate it every day. I'm constantly evaluating.
Can we say l'chaim now? L'chaim, l'chaim. L'chaim.
You want my dirty napkin?
But maybe we have investigated this already, and we've come to our decision.
Both of you have had tough experiences growing up.
I don't think that's necessarily the case, to tell you the truth. You know, in a sense, I've heard this notion before, and I think it's sort of patronizing in a sense. You know, there was this Facebook group created, I was invited to by a rabbi in the community, and it was about what to do with kids who went off, who don't fit into the system, as if there's like some kind of like
Cure.
You know, cure, fine, but at the same time, as if it's like there's some sort of profile where you have to be a little bit odd, or like you have to endure some kind of like traumatizing experience within the system for you to reject it. That isn't the case, you know? People are different. You can be, you know, a well-disciplined child, you can be a smart child, you can be an enthusiastic learner as a child, and still the system might not be for you. You know, this system might not be for you.
We are who we are, and we're not afraid to show it. We don't care what anybody thinks. We're gonna live how we want to live. And if that bothers you, that's your problem. But we try not to let other people affect the way we live our lives. So I think no matter what you would have done, yeah, probably wouldn't have changed who we are. We are who we are, and we stick by it.
Okay, give me some 3 chords, A minor, something we can work with. Again? Ce que j'essaie de faire pour les jeunes qui sont en train de quitter ou qui ont déjà quitté, je sais pas ce que je leur dis, j'essaie d'être leur ami. J'essaie de voir ce qu'ils ont dans la tête. J'essaie de connecter d'une façon amicale. Je suis ce que je suis. Je marche dans la rue et tout le monde sait ce que je suis. J'ai rien à cacher. Et ils savent ça. Alors, j'essaie d'être qui je suis. Moi, j'ai pas toujours été chassidique. Moi, j'avais les filles, les films, les voitures, l'argent, sortir toutes les nuits, tout. Et ça, je me suis dit, j'ai ras-le-bol. J'en ai marre. C'est vide. Je veux quelque chose de plus.
Lady, can I just bring it down to simple things? You find yourself in Kruger Park, right? And you walk out of your Jeep, which basically protects you from the wild animals, and 100 yards down there, you see a lion. And now, wow, let's just interact with that lion. So you're just gonna go up and shake his hand.
You always come back to these dangers, right? Where, you know, you shouldn't explore because there's these, you know, some things lurking that might threaten you.
I'm your father, I worry about you.
Yeah, but Todd, that's not an accurate depiction of the way things are. Yes, there are dangers out there. And when I'm talking about, you know, evolving and embracing other things.
Not every experience enriches your life.
Every experience
Some
does.
experiences hurt you.
They hurt you, but you learn from them, and it makes you stronger.
Well, yes, if you're a heroin addict, yes, you learn from your experience not to take heroin. Yes, it's another lion lurking in the corner. I understand. But I mean, come on, guys. Not everything is meant to be experienced. Use your heads. You're both intelligent boys.
Okay, listen, I'm not going to do a heroin.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: where's the danger in the lifestyles we've chosen?
You really want to know?
Yes.
What's going to happen? And
I'll tell you.
I anticipate that you're going to say.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. Something you're not going to like. 120 years, right? You've lived 120 years. It's time for you to go and make your account, right? So that's it. You know, that's the time you're allotted. And when you do a review, right? You look at everything and every detail that you've done. And you look back and you say now you're wise, you're 120 years, you have no more time left, but you're wise. Isn't that great? You finally arrived, right? And you've got no more time to use it, right? And you're gonna say, you know what? At that age, you know what? That was real dumb. That was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, you know what? When I was a little bit older, that was cool. Or even maybe with something look, it's not everything that's out there is meant to be tasted. And not everything out there is meant to be experienced.
Okay.
You have to, the earlier that you can find and focus yourself on something that's meaningful and truthful to you, it doesn't have to be a whole global experience over here, right? The sooner you'll be a happy, directed individual who's focused and getting into
I assure
a place.
you, I will not eat poisonous mushrooms and I will not try to tickle a lion.
ברגע שהשתחררתי מהלחץ הזה, פשוט הלכתי לים, הייתי בודד, אבל היה לי כיף פשוט לשבת על החול, לשבת על אבנים, להסתכל על השמיים, להסתכל על הים, ולנשום, והרגשתי, הגן עדן זה כאן ועכשיו, זה הגן עדן שלי. אני חי, אני נושם, זה היה בקיץ, מזג אוויר מקסים, ואמרתי לעצמי, אני לא צריך לעשות שום דבר שיהיה לי כיף בחיים. לחיות זה כיף. אבל בזמן שאתה חי, זאת אומרת, אתה חי בשביל עצמך. אתה לא עובד בשביל מישהו אחר. משחק חיים בשביל מישהו אחר.
אני לא מרגישה כאב שעזבתי את העולם החרדי, כי אני חיה, באמת, כיף לי, איך שאני רוצה, איך שאני חושבת שנכון. זה טוב לי איך שאני.
I guess you've kept the door open for us because, plain and simple, you love us. And that sort of transcends all, you know, the nitty-gritty of you know, the fisticuffs that we've come to.
You know, I remember my late Uncle Izzy used to take me to all the Canadians hockey games. I remember as a kid going to the Stanley Cup playoffs. It was like the greatest thrill. One day we were going, and it was cold, it was winter. We were going in the car, I guess we were going to park underground, I don't remember. And I said to him, I don't want to take my coat. He said, take your coat. You can always leave it in the car. But always know that you have the back door open. You can always get it if you need it. You know? You're right, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm wrong. We're just people, right? There are things that are above us and beyond us. That's all I want you to appreciate.
And I tell you, Tom?
Yeah.
I'm going to playoff hockey. It's April, it's May. I will not need the coat. But it's in the back seat.
As long as it's in the back seat. That's what counts.
Okay.
As long as
I won't use it.
It's a silly thing to have a house without a door in the back. You've got to have a door in the front.
You gotta have a back door.
You got to have a back door.
But what's a house without a back door? no kind of house.
It's a mole.
But it's okay if you put like a bookshelf in front of the back door.
We are coming to this point now where I think Levi wants to bless us with a l'chaim.
God bless you all.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.